Analysis of literary devices used in Sonnet 116. Let me not do the marriage of true minds. In previous video, we have already discussed about its explanation. We have discussed what is it all about. And in today's video, we are going to discuss its literary and poetic devices. Let's check. Here we go. Assonance is a repetition of vowel sounds in the same lines, such as the sound of O, in whose words unknown, although his height be taken, and the sound of E in or bends with the remover to remove. So here, assonance is commonly discussed. Assonance is what? It is a repetition of vowel sound within a line. So here in this sonnet, we have two examples. One is of O sound and second is of E sound. Allegory. It is a figure of speech in which abstract ideas and principles are described in terms of characters, figures, and events. This is an allegorical poem that speaks about the importance of true love. So when we talk about allegory, is all about the abstract ideas. So love is one of them. Consonants. Then another idea is about consonants. If you very carefully focus on it, so consonants is from consonants. So here this is the repetition of consonant sounds in the same line, such as the sound of ra in or bends with the removers to remove, and the sound of t in admit impediments. Love is not love. T, t, t. Admit impediments, not t, t, t. So consonants is basically all about the consonant sounds, and here we have discussed in this sonnet 116, ra sound and ta sound are the examples of consonants. Here we go. Enjambment. When we talk about enjambment, it is defined as a thought in verse that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it rolls over to the next line. Or in simple, we can say continuation of idea from one line to another line. For instance, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. There is another symbol for enjambment is when we talk about enjambment, when it is found in any line, it never uses by the end of line any sort of punctuation mark, like in the first line, let me not to the marriage of true minds. Here there is no punctuation mark, and this idea is continued in even in the second line, and here it ends with admit impediments for then full stop. So this is the example of enjambment when one idea is continued from one line to another line. This is called enjambment. Imagery. Without imagery, I think poetry is nothing. So imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their five senses. Shakespeare has used imagery in this poem, such as or bends with the remover to remove, and love's not tense food, the rosy lips and cheeks. And it's very easy to find out which type of imagery is used. So here we can see that this is which type of imagery. Who can guess it? Guess what? Is it all about auditory, visual, or what? Yes, it is visual imagery. Then metaphor. It is a figure of speech in which an implied comparison is made between two objects, or in simple, When we talk about comparison between two dissimilar or disliked ideas, and as it is mentioned over here, it is a figure of speech in which an implied comparison is made between objects that are different in nature. The poet has used the extended metaphor of love to show the true meaning of love. And what does mean by extended metaphor? Means the metaphor or the comparison which has been basically started till beginning, it is going on. That's why it is called extended metaphor. And throughout, if we focus in this sonnet 116, love is used as a basically um, extended metaphor, and which shows the true meaning of love. Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate object. The poet has personified love in the second quatrain of the poem, such as love is not times fool, the rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickles compass. So here in the second quatrain, here the love has been personified with what? Symbolism. Symbolism uses symbols to signify ideas and qualities, giving them symbolic meaning that are different from the literal one. The poem shows symbols such as love, truth, and confidence. Poetic and literary devices are the same, but a few are used only in poetry. Here is an analysis of some of the poetic devices used in this poem. Before this, we were talking about literary devices, and at the moment, we are talking about poetic devices. First, in advancing couplet, there are two constructive lines of verse in a couplet, usually in the same meter and joined by rhyme. This sonnet ends with a couplet, which usually reveals the poem's central idea. As far as sonnets are concerned, usually octave and sestet are usually used, but in this sonnet, basically we have three quatrain and the last one is couplet, which we have already discussed in our last video. This sonnet ends with a couplet which usually reveals the poem's central idea. End rhyme. The end rhyme is used to make the stanza melodious. Shakespeare has used end rhyme in this poem, such as cheeks, weeks, minds, finds, mark, and bark. So, as we have already discussed these um, before the previously discussed slides, so in simple that this sonnet contains rhyming words and rhyming scheme. Rhyming scheme, the poet follows A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D in octave. If we talk about first two stanzas, and if we take first two stanzas at in the same way, and we take it as an octave, then yes, of course, A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D. And if we believe that last six lines are basically one couplet and that is sestet, so then in that situation, our rhyming scheme will be E, F, E, F, G, D. Quatrain. A quatrain is four-line stanza borrowed from Persian poetry. Already we have discussed that if we are going to convert into like octave and sestet, that is another thing. Otherwise, we have already shared this idea that this this sonnet contains basically three quatrain and one couplet. Sonnet is a 14-lined poem, usually written in iambic pentameter. This Shakespearean sonnet consists of three quatrains and a couplet. Thank you. Hopefully, this video will be helpful for you, it's time to check out.